Radio, 900 AM and 96.1 FM, WURD, Philadelphia. Celebrating 20 years of progressive Black talk media. Streaming online at wordradio.com and the WURD Radio app.
The views and opinions expressed by the guests, listeners, and hosts of any program on WURD Radio do not necessarily reflect those of the ownership, management, or advertisers of this station.
I'm simply saying that life finds a way.
All right, people, write something on the board. Let's spell it. First letter.
L O G.
What's that? What?
It's time. It's time to have real, honest, open, difficult, and inspiring conversations. It's time for Love and Life on WURD, Progressive Black Talk Media.
Well, hello there, family. Welcome to Love and Life on WURD, Progressive Black Talk Media, on air and online at wordradio.com. You know, I like to spell it. It's WURDradio.com. Thanks for joining us. Thank you, as always, for joining us. You know, I love the love. Love the love. Listen, today is Tuesday, April 18th. Do you believe that? Do you believe that? I say it every day, don't I? I tell you the date and then I say, do you believe it? Because I don't believe it. I don't believe that we're almost in the middle of the year when I feel like the year just started and I still haven't begun any resolution that I even thought of. I can't even say I made one, but I thought of a few. In any event, as always, you know, I like to check in with you. You know, I like to do my check-in. You know how I do. So for those of you whose light is just a little dim, I'm sending you extra love and extra hugs, virtual hugs, of course, but I'm hoping that you receive them and that you receive them well. And to our family members on our socials, you know, send us a hello as you usually do. You know, we love your love too. So check in. Let us know how you're doing. Let us know how your day is going, how it's been thus far. You know, we like to talk about everything here at Love and Life. So we have an amazing guest tonight. I tell you that. I know I do all the time because all of our guests are amazing. That's how I feel about them. So, you know, I invite you to join the conversation whenever the conversation begins. So I'm going to tell you the number now, but I will definitely repeat it in case you want to do so. In case you want to call in, you know, when you hear something that sparks your interest, you can call us at 215-634-8065, or you can call us toll free at 1-866-361-0900. And if you leave us a comment on our socials, I promise I will do my best to read it on the air. Okay, so the time goes by so quickly. I'm going to just dive in. Our guest tonight is a soulful guitar player whose gift captivates you from the first note he plays. A multifaceted musician, songwriter, and producer, he is one of the most sought after and admired guitarists to ever play. He is consistently called upon to add his signature style to countless R&B, jazz, and pop recordings. And he's worked with a variety of artists, including John Legend, Jill Scott, Gerald Levert, Pieces of a Dream, The Roots, Kim, the legendary Smokey Robinson, Al Green, the OJs, just to name a few, okay? That's just to name a few. He's performed on television programs such as Love and Happiness and Obama Celebration, ABC Boy Band, The Tonight Show, Sunday's Best, hosted by Kirk Franklin, as well as, countless awards shows, inclusive of the BET and Soul Train Awards, the NAACP Image Awards, and the 2018 Academy Awards. Okay? Family, I invite you to meet none other than Randy Bowland. Randy!
Thank you so much for the invitation. It's a true special honor. I really appreciate you doing this for me.
Oh my goodness. I'm so happy to be able to share you. This, I no, seriously. I mean, I get to work with you and I've known you, which it seems like forever. So I'm happy to let the rest of the world, as we know it, know who you are. I'm just happy to. But
It
I
has
always
been
tell you.
forever.
No. But I always tell you, I say, Randy, I feel like we've known each other forever. Since the sandbox. I know it hasn't been that long, but it feels like it's been since the sandbox, which is a good thing. That's a good
It's
thing.
been most of our life, really. It's been more of a life, more than half of our life.
Isn't that crazy?
Yeah.
I love that. I love that, though. So how are you today?
I'm doing great. I can't complain. Trying to get a little bit of rest from my touring schedule, but I'm doing pretty good. Thank you.
I don't even know that that's possible, Randy. I don't know. I don't know for
Yeah.
you. I don't. Okay, so family, typically when I talk with Randy, when we have a conversation, Randy is in transit. Randy is flying from one place to the other. He's dipping at home for a day or two. I think just to say hello to his beautiful wife, and then and then he goes back out. But that, you know what? That's a beautiful life. That's a beautiful life.
Yeah, I'm blessed. Yeah. Thank you.
Aren't we all? We're here to talk about it. We're
That's
all
right.
still here. So I, I talk in passing with different people about your career because I think it's just I love your life. From what I see of your life, from what I know of your life, I love it. I love how you're able to move. I love that you have been able to do so for as long as you've been able to do so, because we know that's a blessing in this industry. It's truly a blessing to have longevity, and especially the longevity that you and I both had. I'll say
Absolutely.
that. Yeah. Can you please tell our family members, for those who are unaware, a little about yourself, from where you come, all that good stuff?
Wow. Let's see. Quick trip. I'm a native North Philadelphian. I lived in North Philly probably the first 20 years of my life. Attended Benjamin Franklin High School. Didn't go to college. About a year and a half out of college, out of high school, I did the normal 9 to 5 thing, and shortly thereafter started my professional music career. So from age 20, I've been on this professional music journey. Started playing guitar around the age of 8. Parents bought me a guitar at age 7. Took me about a year to kind of get familiar with the instrument, but once I started to learn, I learned pretty quick, and had a little basement band, the whole 9 yards. 2 years after my, jump into the band, so to speak,
Mhm.
we got a manager for our band who was managing a jazz band much older than us, and he allowed us to open for some of their shows, doing cabarets and stuff like that. I was 10,
Y-
so
You were 10?
I was 10, I was 10 years old. So, the big fuss was, he can't come in here. He's just a kid, we're serving alcohol and the whole 9 yards. But because the manager was my parents' age, then he was our chaperone. So they would take me in the clubs, the cabarets, and I would have to stay in the dressing room while everybody was out there drinking until it was time for us to play. And so the funny thing about that is probably from age 10 through maybe 15, I was in a habit of coming in like 2:00 in the morning and having to go to school. So
I'm sorry, did you say since the age of 10?
10, yeah. So
Okay.
it was definitely an unorthodox childhood.
Oh my goodness. I'm my mind is reeling. First of all, okay. As long as I've known you, I never even knew you had a 9 to 5 at any point in your life. As far as I knew, let me tell you, in my mind, in my spirit, you were born playing the guitar. So you never had a 9 to 5.
Almost, except for that little stretch of time that I had a 9 to 5. My first job was working for Sears, and
Sears.
I got let go for doing too good of a job.
Are you serious?
Honest to God, the manager tried to say that it was because they hired me for a seasonal job, but I was doing really well until headquarters came down, and in my department, I showed everybody up with we were given a contest, whoever can do the best job at blah blah blah, working in the stock room, and the people from headquarters, when they saw the work that I did, they asked my supervisor, "Who did this?" He pointed me out. The guy said, "Oh, great job! You got a great future in this business." About a week later, I was fired.
Oh, oh, that's horrible! I'm laughing. That's horrible. That is terrible.
Well, I mean, it wasn't meant to be. So that was a blessing in disguise.
Agreed. Agreed. Okay, now I'm jumping because I do so, but I want to go back to you telling us that you were 10 years old in clubs where they drink, smoke, and have all kinds of life.
Adult life.
Yes. So, and you were made to sit in the green room area or the dressing room and wait until it was time to play.
So it was time to play. And some of the other guys that were a little underage, they would sneak out and get drinks and stuff like that, bring it back to the dressing room. But yeah, they made sure that I didn't get into anything. So,
well, praise God for that. But wait, what would you talk about at school?
well, it's funny because a lot of my schoolmates would ask me about, my whole music life. I mean, they were fascinated by it, and I guess I was getting a little bit of privilege because my teacher was a musician. So any little things that I needed in terms of allowances, if I needed to leave early for something, or I came in late because I got in 2:00 in the morning, they were lenient with me. I mean, not too much to the point where it would just be.
Wow.
They were supportive. Yeah.
Well, good. You know what? We're grateful for that because we're reaping the benefits of, the love that you received as a wee one out here. Because you were touring then, you may as well say, family. If if you've just joined us, you're tuned in to Love and Life on WURD, Progressive Black Talk Media, on air and online at wordradio.com. That's WURDradio.com. Some of our family members are joining us on our socials. And as you all hear, my fur child, Chloe, is saying hello. So she says hello as well. But our family members that are on our socials are Rowena. Hey there, beautiful. Rowena shares blessings. And she prays that we had a joyful day thus far. She said she did. She did. You know what? That's what we love to hear. That's what we love to see. Nasir says, good evening, Sister Carol and Brother Randy. Peace and blessings. And Julie writes, greetings, everyone. Julie says, how are you doing? Okay, from the movie of the 5 Heartbeat song, A Heart is a House for Love. All right, Julie. All right, Julie. And Viola says, hello as well. So, family, if you just joined us, if you just tuned in, we're talking with world-renowned guitarist Randy Bowland. Now, I've known Randy since forever, but let me tell you something. I've seen this man play. I don't know how many times. I tell him every single time I get to work with him, I tell him, I just love to hear you play. Do I not? I tell you, I love playing with you. I love working with you because his sound is distinct. His, how do you put it? How do you put it? What does it say? Je ne sais quoi, when you don't know how to explain it. He has that je ne sais quoi. And as I said in the beginning, when I was describing him, when you first hear him play, the first note that he plays, it captivates you. It really, really does. And I'm not just saying that because I know him. I'm saying that because I've been listening to Randy for years, years. But Randy was sharing with us that he started playing, if I'm not mistaken, you said it about 8, right? Was about 8 years old.
Yeah, eight was when I first started learning how to get around on the guitar. Very limited, but the first thing that I discovered was I had a good ear. So if I could hear it, then I could, once it was in my head, then I could apply it to whatever limited ability I had on the guitar. And I've always been good at retention. So once I heard it, I would remember it.
So how many? It's always interesting to me when parents identify their children's gifts and talents, because you have siblings. How many siblings do you have, Randy?
3 sisters.
3
older
sisters.
Than myself. Yeah, I'm the baby.
Are any of them musically inclined?
Not really. I mean, I would say probably one of my sisters have a little bit more musical inclination, if you will, but no one has ever applied it to trying to learn an instrument or anything like that. It's just more or less singing around the house. My mother played piano, so that's kind of
that was going to be my next question, if either of your parents played, because for them, look at that, it was a mama. Mommy said, my baby has an ear. Mothers always know. They always say mothers know their children. There is so much truth to that. Mothers know their children.
Right.
And for her to have known, to have seen it, I wonder what she saw, or what she identified, how she identified your gift at such a young age. Did you all ever talk about that?
Yeah. I mean, if I had to articulate it, in a short description, I would say that, of course, because she was a musician, a piano player herself, she identified the fact that I had music talent, natural music talent. And I was always drawn to musical instruments and groups, Jackson 5, the Beatles, and that whole 9 yards. And I think she could just see that was a part of my persona, if you will. It's like, even though I didn't know how to play an instrument early on, I walked around like I was like I wanted to be a musician. So I think she identified that, and when she saw that I was able to learn the instrument pretty rapidly, she did everything she could to support that. The funny story, real quick, is my father bought the guitar because we used to always see guitars in a department store. So it was his wish and promise to get me a guitar one day. So he made good on that on my 7th birthday. But it was my mother who really identified with, wait a minute, he's got musical talent. And even though he's just practically an infant, I'm going to support this. So the whole 10 years old on the nightclubs, and it was a risk. That was a big faith walk for my parents. But my mother always believed that if you get the exposure,
So we're having some technical difficulties here. I'm not sure
Right.
for our family members who can
And
hear.
uh,
If you'll just stick with us for a moment, though, because we're going to work this out. But in the meantime, what we're going to do is take a short commercial break, and we will be right back.
I'm Daryl Beatty. I'm a smooth jazz saxophonist and I do my thing my way. That's called style. And for my beard style, the King C. Gillette lineup of beard care products, like the King C. Gillette Beard Thickener, helps me craft my look my way. It strengthens the facial hair while increasing beard volume for a noticeably thicker look. And with the King C. Gillette Signature Scent, I smell as good as I look. So Kings, remember and don't forget, master your style with King C. Gillette.
Tune in Wednesday, April 19th at 4 p.m. for the live broadcast from Arcadia University as they end their year-long focus on the theme of bias. Arcadia University's The Love Pilot program will host their policing and prosecution panel discussion. Panelists include Philadelphia District Attorney Larry Krasner, Cheltenham Township Police Chief John Slavin, Arcadia community member Yolanda Neal, former PPD civilian employee and community organizer Sergio. Tune in April 19th at 4 p.m.
Pollution from trucks is a public health crisis. Diesel-burning trucks belch dangerous levels of pollution, and communities living near ports and along freight corridors breathe especially high levels of this dirty air. But this crisis has a solution. My name is Sasan Sadat, and I work for Earth Justice. I'm working to clean up our air quality, particularly for communities that bear the burden of diesel pollution. For the sake of our lungs, our health, and our climate, the future of trucking in this country has got to be zero emissions. Until then, I will never rest.
Earth Justice is a national legal nonprofit defending the environment and people's health. Earth Justice is fighting to save lives, protect our climate, and strengthen our economy through the shift to zero emissions. If clean air matters to you, visit us at earthjustice.org. Earth Justice, because the earth needs a good lawyer.
What are you waiting for? If you've been enjoying the information and interviews WURD provides every day or come out to our community events, it might be time to become a member. This year marks the 20th anniversary of WURD, and there's no better time to join the forward movement. Sign up or renew your sustaining membership at just $90 or your digital membership for just $5 a month. Join online at wordradio.com/membership or pick up the phone and give us a call at 215-425-7875. Press 4 for assistance. The time to join is now.
What am I waiting for? This is your celebration.
Hey, this is David W. Brown, former general manager of WURD. I'm proud to say, and Temple University, want to wish WURD a happy 20th anniversary.
I'm Delilah Wilson-Scott with Comcast, and I want to wish WURD a happy 20th anniversary. Thank you for celebrating 20 years of Black excellence, Black culture, Black legacy, and providing a forum so we can discuss the issues that we care about.
I'm Dylan Lewis from WURD Radio, and I want to wish WURD a happy 20th anniversary.
Hi, I'm Ken Anderson from the Chamber of Commerce for Greater Philadelphia, and I just want to wish WURD a happy 20th anniversary. Thank you for all that you do in this community. You are one of the anchors that make us who we are, and that is the best. So I'm wishing you happy 20th and many, many more.
We're celebrating 20 years of progressive Black Talk Media. You're listening to Love and Life with Carol Riddick on WURD, Progressive Black Talk Media.
Hey there, family. Welcome back. You are tuned into Love and Life on WURD, Progressive Black Talk Media, on air and online at wordradio.com. You know, that's WURD radio.com. We are joined by none other than world renowned guitarist Randy Bowland. You've seen him everywhere. Some of you have seen him and probably didn't know that you were watching him and listening to him because you've seen him on numerous award shows, television shows, and programs, all kinds of things. You've been listening to him on some of your favorite songs. How about that? But in any event, I want to say hello to some more of our family members on our socials. Joanne is joining us. Hi there. Hi, beautiful. She writes that she's just coming in from a nice visit at the Delaware Valley Veterans Nursing Home. Oh, I hope that was a beautiful day for you. Glad to know that it was a nice visit. Before the break, Randy was saying to us that his father actually bought a guitar because they were seeing guitars all over and seeing them at the store. But his mother identified this gift that he had. And then we were having all kinds of, the devil was trying to get into the details. So we had to kick the devil out. So now that we're back and we are here without the devil, Randy, would you please fill us back in on what we missed?
Yeah. So as I was saying, my mother was really the one who was doing a lot of the supportive things, like buying my clothes that were show clothes back then, hats. And the funny thing is I was wearing hats back then. I didn't remember that. I went through a whole stretch of my life where I didn't wear hats. I look back at some of my kid pictures and I was like, man, I was wearing hats back then. So yeah, she was buying all of that stuff and, you know, whatever equipment I needed. And she was a little bit more lenient with me coming in 2:00 in the morning, you know, as a kid, being in all these adult environments and stuff like that. It was a faith walk for her, but she just believed that if I would get the right exposure, that, you know, somewhere along the way, the right time, right place, you know, opportunities will open beyond what I was doing. So I guess me getting such an early start helped me to get an earlier start in the professional realm of the business.
That makes sense. That, you know, Randy, I chuckled because I'm listening to you say that your mother was buying your show clothes. At 10 years old, you had show clothes. You know what? You know what show clothes that okay, I'm going to ask you if you can find a photo. Not right now, but when I see you, I want to see this picture of you at 10 years old in your show clothes.
Mm-hmm. Yep, the whole Ernie Isley, Jimi Hendrix headband, all of it.
Wait. Okay, so wait a minute. Now, so your mother was at home, of course, with your sisters. So your father was with you? Was he with you at the venues? No.
It was, our band consisted of about 11 guys. And like the first iteration of the band that I was in was the band that I put together, which was like 4 or 5 pieces. And there was another band in the neighborhood not far from my house that were friends with my sister's boyfriend. And he kept telling that band about me. Like, you got to hear my sister, my girlfriend's little brother, blah, 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 blah. So one day we arranged a jam weekend to go around to their jam. And they heard me play and they was like, yeah, we want you. I was like, well, you can't have me without the rest of my guys. It's all of us or nothing.
Right.
So we fused the 2 bands, which is why it was about 11 of us. And a lot of those guys were already 15, 16, you know, so they were old enough to watch over me, so to speak.
15 and 16.
Yeah, but our manager was my parents' age, so he was really he was the guardian in the room, you know. So that's why my parents felt somewhat comfortable with, you know, me being in an adult environment as long as I was under proper supervision.
You did tell us that, you know what? I was so stuck. It keeps repeating in my mind that you were 10 years old in venues and clubs and coming
Oh,
home at 2 a.m. from wait, that is I'm telling you, I'm stuck on these show clothes. I want to see these show clothes. We have a friend of ours on our socials, Vince Keys. He writes, please ask Randy about his group Mission.
oh wow. Is that my talk about mission intro?
That I imagine it is because Vince is asking. He's on our socials and he said, please ask Randy about his group Mission. We
Okay,
want to know
so
it all, Randy. We want to know it all.
no problem. I'm here to tell. So Mission was a band that I co-founded. Was comprised of a couple of guys I went to high school with.
Okay.
A couple of my childhood. Our bass player who was in the band with me when I was 14, 15, something like that.
Mhm.
Drummer that I went to school with. Keyboard player that was a part of the young band that I was in as well. We kind of started the band, and then we were auditioning singers, so the singers came from different cities. And we were probably a couple of different names before Mission. The earlier versions of the band was just more or less trying to get gigs, doing shows, putting together repertoire songs out for to do shows. But Pieces of a Dream was the first group that I had a chance to tour with and started my professional career. So while I was out traveling with Pieces of a Dream, I was making all these relationships in hopes that I could get my band a record deal, because that was the goal that I was going for. It's like, playing in clubs and stuff, that's nice, but I write songs and I want to be able to record and hopefully have a band of our own, with our own record. So I met some people while I was out on the road, PR people, radio station folks, and this network of folks that I met helped me to get my demos in front of the right people.
Wow.
So I would say probably a couple of years being out with Piece of a Dream, I was able to make the right relationships, start throwing the demos out, and long and behold, I got a record deal for my group with Columbia Records. So we had to come up with a name that was away from all the other names that we had that were pretty weak. So Mission was something we came across. We did 2 albums with Columbia Records. I was probably 22.
You were a baby.
And that was my leap into becoming a songwriter. I had written songs before, but never had anything published. So now I have songs published on a major label, getting played on the radio, and so that was the group. Seven-piece group, 7-member group.
7-piece group called Mission. So I want to tell you that Vince is a true fan because Vince is commenting, and Vince writes the song "Fantasy Experience."
Well, that was our first hit, if you will.
Okay, see, now I'm going to dig in the crates, Randy. I'm going to find this song, Fantasy Experience. I want to take a moment, though, to invite one of our family members to join the conversation. We have a caller on the line. Are you still there?
Yes, this is Ryan. Hey, Randy. This is Ryan from Philadelphia. Boosie Bonds, Kent sing with the Dreamers. Used to sing with them. Then he went with the Universal. And quite a few groups came out in North Philadelphia. And I remember Jack and Cole came here to Philadelphia. Johnny Hutchinson, the fighter, brought him in. And he stayed at the Chesterfield Hotel down there on Oxford Street. And some of the other groups, they called me back in the day, John Ryan. And I had a song I used to sing. And this is dedicated to all the people that are looking for love and one love. My song would go like this. With this heart, I will sing to you. Mm-hmm. With these hands, I will cling to you. And I'm saying this, I want to thank you for your music career. Because anyone that does music, it stirs up the soul. And anyone that sings music in the church or wherever they sing music, they become a part of the soul stirs. And you don't realize all the people lives you have touched with your talent you have, and Cal too. And I want to say this. Do you remember you probably young Marian Anderson that comes from South Philadelphia? When she sung in 1939?
Marian Anderson. Indeed.
I remember the name. Yes.
Yes. Let me say this. These South Philly, I made, a matter of fact, I got a song I'm going to put out on Cal too that I made. It's called Ooh Wah, Cool, Cool City. Talking about Cal from South Philly. And wait now, Carol.
Okay.
Marian Anderson sung at the foot of the Lincoln Memorial. When she opened up, Mr. Randy, you know that profound song she opened up with? It wasn't God Bless America. Ave Maria, she sung that. Here this South Philly lady named Cal Riddick sung up Harrisburg not too long ago. And they tell me when Cal was walking and coming through the rotunda, said its acoustics are beautiful. And Cal sung this song. Cal started singing, we are one. We are all in this thing together. And they tell me that the new governor said, a voice like hers only come once in a century. And Cal, she's not conceited, but she's convinced. What would the world be without a song? And your mom and dad, and Carol's mom and dad, when they was with us, they was right, what would the song be without, what would the day be without a song? This music have lifted souls, and all music go back with Beethoven. They go back way before. What I'm saying with my company will continue. And when you leave this world, and I don't mean to sound morbid, but we're all going to leave here.
This is true.
Legacy, what it will be, sir. And you make my case. Cal make my case, and other people from our community. We didn't come out of no ghetto, sir. The ghetto means together. We came out of the community where there are so many personalities. And when God give you a song, when he give you a song, sir, you touching someone. It's healing in songs. And so I just want to thank Cal for being versatility to have so much on her book, because she is love. And Love, she spelled when it come on her program, but Cal had took her life and put it into a verb. And I don't know how many places you sung, sir. I don't know how many places Cal sung. But if y'all look at your lives, you're right back where you started from, in your community, not the ghetto. Look what have come out of my covenant. I will continue to listen. And Cal, let me say, yesterday, with your guest that was on there, do you hear what the guest daughter said about you, beloved? She said, thank you for telling my family story. Continue to give love. Continue to give us these loves with a verb, Cal. And because when you give out love, you too, sir, it's healing in music. It's healing in music. So I'll continue to listen, sir. And may God bless you to continue with health and strength. Let that be your reward for entertaining so many people. Thank you very much, both of y'all.
Thank you. Thank you. That's beautiful. I really appreciate it.
Ron, I can't thank you enough. Ron is one of our family members that continuously contributes to the conversation, and he always has something positive to contribute, and I love it. I really, really love it. It's always a welcome pleasure to hear from you, Ron, and to hear the pearls of wisdom that you drop. It really is. I have to say too, like he said, music is universal. It is a language. And, you know, Randy, you and I have talked about this several times. It's a blessing to be able to do what we do, the gifts that we have. I mean, you know, listen, it's our ministry. we receive from our ministry as well, you know,
That's
because
right.
it's a gift. It's a gift.
Right.
So it's a blessing for us and it's a blessing to us when we're able to do what we do. But like I was saying, I wanted to share uh the spotlight, like shed a light on you, because I believe you to be so phenomenally gifted and talented. And our family members, y'all know I say it every single show. I tell you, I say that I believe everybody's story is an amazing story, because there is something about everybody's story that could ignite a spark in someone else. And I think that's the beauty in it all. That's the beauty in it. Before we go to commercial, though, I want to say that Harry, hey there, Harry. Harry says hello. Viola, she's talking as well. Viola, we're so glad that you're continuing the conversation too. She said, did I hear Randy graduated from Ben Franklin? She said her husband graduated in 1965. So
Wow.
what we're going to, I know that, right? I know. It's a beautiful thing. Family, stay with us, because we've got so much more to talk about. Stay with us. We'll be right back.
Here's what you missed on Wake Up with Word.
Joining us now is attorney Damon Tyner. He's a former Atlantic County prosecutor. We're talking about the case of an 85-year-old white man who shot a black teen when that teen came to the man's front door in Kansas City, Missouri last week. The teen was looking for his twin brothers. The young man was 16 years old. His name is Ralph Yarl, and he is now recovering at home. So he got charged with assault. He didn't get charged with attempted murder.
I don't know what went into the decision making in this case to not charge attempted murder. I would suspect that maybe the district attorney out there didn't feel that he had the intent. From the little bits of pieces that have come out, they've said that, he thought someone was trying to break into his home. He was afraid. But then you start hearing other stories and other things that as you unpeel that onion, he actually had eyes on him and saw who it was and directly and intentionally fired a shot. 2 shots at this young man. Not only did he hit him in his head, he stood over him apparently and fired a shot into his abdomen.
Tune in to Wake Up with Word with Solomon Jones every Monday through Friday, 7 a.m. to 10 a.m. only on WURD. Progressive Black Talk Media.
Pollution from trucks is a public health crisis. Diesel-burning trucks belch dangerous levels of pollution, and communities living near ports and along freight corridors breathe especially high levels of this dirty air. But this crisis has a solution. My name is Sasan Sadat, and I work for Earth Justice. I'm working to clean up our air quality, particularly for communities that bear the burden of diesel pollution. For the sake of our lungs, our health, and our climate, the future of trucking in this country has got to be zero emissions. Until then, I will never rest.
Earth Justice is a national legal nonprofit defending the environment and people's health. Earth Justice is fighting to save lives, protect our climate, and strengthen our economy through the shift to zero emissions. If clean air matters to you, visit us at earthjustice.org. Earth Justice, because the earth needs a good lawyer.
Need a minute? Take a breath and breathe in positivity. Here are words of joy and empowerment from WURD Radio.
Vision without action is merely a dream. Action without vision just passes time. But vision with action can change the world. These are the words of Joel Arthur Barker, and my prayer and hope for Philadelphia, a city I was born in, educated, lived, and work in, will collectively come together to help its citizens by bringing economic prosperity to those in need, create safe and affordable housing for the disenfranchised, and create safe and organic spaces for adults and children to grow. I am Kimberly Lloyd.
This joy and empowerment vignette was brought to you by Comcast.
What is love?
You're listening to Love and Life on WURD, Progressive Black Talk Media.
I think I know what love is.
Welcome back, family. You're tuned in to Love and Life on WURD, Progressive Black Talk Media, on air and online at wordradio.com. That's WURDradio.com. We are talking with none other than world-renowned guitarist Randy Bowland. I was explaining to our family members earlier that you've probably seen Randy and not realized it. I'm sure you've heard him and have not realized it, but I thought it so fitting to have him come and talk with us about these amazing experiences that he is having. And I'm calling them amazing. I'm speaking for him, if I might. I mean, he might just say, but to me, they're all amazing experiences. You, Randy, I keep repeating this because I'm stuck on it. Randy says that he was performing in clubs when he was 10 years old. His mother was picking out his little suits and his hats. And I think that's the cutest little thing. But she was picking out his clothes, his show clothes. He's show clothes at 10. He was going into school talking about his gigs, that is hilarious to me. So you're going in talking about your gigs. Fast forward, the first band was Mission. The first group that you put together was Mission. So, but the group that was signed, was it Pieces of a Dream you were saying that you were playing with when you first toured?
Yeah, so I got a call to audition for Pieces of a Dream. I had just turned 20 or something. And the manager said, we got 5 guys that we want to audition. Your name was thrown in the hat. Could you come and audition next week? I was just coming back from, that's another story, but I was just coming back from a trip. And I said, yeah, I could be there Monday. He said, okay, you'll be the first audition. So got there. We were rehearsed in Mount Airy, I think at James's basement or something, James Lloyd. And we just clicked right away. We had fun. We were laughing. The jam went great. And it's like, yeah, we don't think we need to audition anybody else. You got the gig if you want it. And that's when my professional career started. It was just like that.
Wow. Well, you know what that means. It was meant. That's what you call divine orchestration.
Yeah.
That's what you call that divine orchestration. That's how I see it. I mean, it was meant for you.
Yeah.
How long were you with Pieces of a Dream?
Just shy of 8 years.
8
I think
years.
all in all, maybe 8 years, because I had stopped for about a year and I went back for about a year. So collectively about 8 years.
Okay. So now I shared with our family members that you've been requested to play on R&B songs, jazz songs, pop songs, everything in between. I know you've personally worked with all of these individuals that I stated, but I mean, I've worked with you in some of the same arenas with some of the individuals that I shared. But tell us how it went from, okay, Pieces of a Dream, 8 years with Pieces of a Dream. What was next? What came after that?
So in between my recording part of my career, that was the Mission. When we got signed, and I had to leave Pieces of a Dream for a couple of years to support Mission. But as you know, it's hard being an artist. Things are great in the beginning, and then you go through all the politics and the ills of the business, and next thing you know, what seemed all rosy isn't rosy anymore. So now it's time for me to go back to my gig. So I rejoined Pieces of a Dream for the touring side of it. Did about another year, but in the interim, I started getting calls to do studio work. So at the time, Philly World was, doing a lot of sessions, and Donald Robinson, McKinley, like all these folks were, they were the in-house producers, and they were busy. So I got a call to do a couple of songs, And I think the guitar player at the time was Ron Jennings that they were using. And they was like, oh man, we want you to play on this. Can you come back and do this? Can you come back? And then I started doing like 10 songs a week. And then the next thing I know, it's like there was like a few years that I was just busy doing that. So much so that the live shows didn't matter so much anymore whether I went on the road or not. And then that parlayed into me getting some calls from Nick Martinelli. And then that became, Nick liked me, so I started working on everything he did, from Stephanie Mills, Mickey Howard, De'Aaron Warwick. Nick was doing everybody under some loose ends. So I did that for a while. And even when he went away and came back and had moved to Florida, he started sending for me to come down to Florida. So my whole studio career had taken off, and I was always in the studio working on, some new records and stuff. Along the way, Joe Levert comes into the equation. Mike Tarzia, God rest his soul, passed my name off to Gerald Levert. They were looking for a guitar player while they were recording here in Philly. So I came down and met him at Sigma. And he walked 40-year-old, 20-year-old man. And we hit it off. I did 2 songs. I think that day it was Mickey Howard and Millie Jackson or something. And he's like, yeah, can you come back in a couple of weeks? Levert's coming back. We get ready to do our next album, which was the Just Coolin' album.
Wow.
And I worked on the whole album, and then I became his guy. So everything he did, I played on. So much so that when they stopped doing things in Philly and started recording in Cleveland, they would fly me to Cleveland like almost every week. And I did that for years. Wound up joining the Levert touring band, then Gerald Levert touring band, then the OJs, and it just, it was a snowball effect. And I guess, that's kind of where my recording career started.
I did tell our family members that your sound is infectious. So, I mean, it makes sense that, and I also said that once, someone hears you, once they hear you play one note, they're captivated. So that makes sense that you're saying, well, I played with this one. And then he said, he said this one. And then it just makes sense that there was a natural progression in your journey, in your career. I've known you. Oh, my goodness. I don't even know. Randy, I don't even remember when we met or how we met, which is so crazy. I don't remember that, but
we met in that whole little Donald.
Was it through Donald Robinson? And we're talking family. I should say this to you because Randy and I are sitting here talking as if you all know all of these people. And some of you may, but I know some family members are saying, I don't know what they're talking about. I don't know these people. But, trust me, when I tell you, I believe you to be familiar with their work. Like Donald, what was the Vanessa Williams song? Yes, he worked with Vanessa Williams. He worked with a lot of people, but one of his more popular songs was with Vanessa Williams. Nick Martinelli, as you were saying, Nick did Loose Ends. He did Stephanie Mills, as you were saying. And so I know that it helps to have some association when we're talking about people and we're mentioning their names. And you all know, we know the teddy bear. We know Gerald Levert. We all consider Gerald a teddy bear. So we knew Gerald. But to know that you worked with Gerald and your sound, again, like I said, was so infectious that you went to work with the OJs as well. It is really impressive. It's really impressive. I don't want to forget that we have our family members on our socials. Joanne, I saw you there. Joanne said, wow. She writes that she knows Cedric in Pieces of a Dream, and we are Mount Airy Groove. So it's always I love it when we talk about our family members with whom we've worked, and our family that is watching or listening has association or is familiar, because it shows you and it tells you just how small the world is. Just how small the world is. And I believe that to be true. And I love that, though, because that's love. That's love. When we all say, oh, yeah, well, I know so and so. They say there are 6 degrees of separation, but I believe there are only 2. Quite honestly, I don't believe there are 6. I believe there to be about 2. Family. Listen, we are talking about life on the road. We're talking about Randy's illustrious career thus far. Have mercy. The journey on which he's embarked thus far, as a guitarist, as a songwriter, a producer, and so many other things, how multifaceted of a human being he is. What we're going to do right now is we're going to take a short break. Okay, so stay with us, though, because we will be right back.
The Museum of the American Revolution invites you and your family to experience Black founders, the Fortson family of Philadelphia, now on display. Explore the story of free Black Philadelphian James Fortson and his descendants as they navigate the Revolutionary War, build a business in Philadelphia, and contribute to the abolition and voting rights movements. The unique journey and exceptional story of the Fortson family explores the legacy of the American Revolution and the ongoing work to realize the principle of liberty and equality for all. Information and tickets at amrevmuseum.org.
Let's face it, life looks a little different. During these times, we're doing our best to keep our minds and bodies strong. And getting a flu shot helps us stay healthy, so we don't miss out on what matters, like having game night at home. Yeah, can't do that while sick with the flu. Now imagine family movie night that your daughter can't live without. Well, that's ruined. And don't forget your uncle's socially distanced cookout. See, that's why it's important to be at our strongest. Every year, millions of people in the U.S. get the flu. Especially now, no one has time to miss out on moments that matter. So get your flu shot. Find out more at getmyflushot.org. Brought to you by the AMA, CDC, and the Ad Council.
This WURD public service announcement is a reminder that every voice and every vote counts. We are committed to keeping you informed, and we encourage you to participate in the process.
This is Charles Ellison, host of Reality Check on WURD. So with all this talk about vote by mail, you're probably wondering, will my ballot be counted? No worries. 40 states, including Pennsylvania, are tracking mail-in ballots. Simply go to votespa.com and click on mail-in and absentee ballot to find out if your ballot was received. Or go more directly to pavoterservices.pa.gov and click on election ballot status to enter your name, birth date, and county. Keep following us at @OnWord on Twitter, Facebook.com/4word, and #WordOnPolitics for constant updates.
This PSA is a part of Every Voice, Every Vote, a collaborative project of the Lenfest Institute for Journalism, with lead support provided by the William Penn Foundation. Learn more at www.everyvoice-everyvote.org. Editorial content is created independently of the project's donors.
Celebrating 20 years of progressive Black talk media. We're bringing joy and power to the people. This is WURD 900 AM and 96.1 FM, Philadelphia. Streaming online at WURDradio.com and the WURD Radio app. You're listening to Love and Life with Carol Riddick on WURD, Progressive Black Talk Media.
Hey there, family. Welcome back. You are tuned in to Love and Life on WURD, Progressive Black Talk Media, on air and online at wordradio.com. That's WURD radio.com. Listen, we are talking about, well, you know what we do. We talk about love. We talk about life. We talk about everything under the both umbrellas of love and life, everything in between. Tonight, we're talking about the illustrious career of Randy Bowland, world-renowned guitarist, and we're inviting you to join the conversation. I know you've seen Randy. I know you've heard Randy. If you'd like to contribute to the conversation, you can do so by calling us at 215-634-8065, or you can call us toll free at 1-866-361-0900. And for our family members that are joining us on our socials, you know we love the love that you show us. We are always appreciative of every comment that you make. And if you have not commented and would like to do so, I will do my best to read it on the air. So, Randy, you were talking about, okay, so you went to work. We started Pieces of a Dream. We went with Gerald Levert, well, Nick Martinelli, then Gerald Levert, then the OJs. Okay. Out of everything that you've done, you know, I want to tell you, I still consider the Obamas, well, I should say, I still consider the Obamas the first family. They are my forever first family, as they probably are for a lot of people. So please tell us about that experience. Tell us about working on Love and Happiness and Obama Celebration, working on that show. Like, what was that like?
Surreal. I mean, that's the only word that I could really come up with that would probably be close to accurate. I met him briefly at a fundraiser when he was, trying to become president for the first time. And I was with Steve McKee. I'm not Steve McKee. Steve, what is the guy from Hidden Beach?
Gerald Busby, Steve McKeever. Steve McKeever.
Yeah, I was close. And he had a small iteration of Jill's band. We were out in California. He said, "Hey, did you guys play for a fundraiser tomorrow in Malibu?" Tell us who it was for. And I didn't really know much about him anyhow. And we played we did a couple of sets for the fundraiser. And I heard him speak, and I was like, man, I don't really know a lot about this guy, but I think he might be president. So I want to take a picture with him. And
what?
The last to get, me and Adam, we were the last to get pictures with him before they took him away to the car. And next thing I know, he's president. So now fast forward, Adam was doing a lot of stuff with BET, that whole network, and they got chosen to be able to record one of his going out parties. And so Adam's like, man, I can't really tell you what it is, but it's a pretty big gig on the horizon. Are you available? And I was touring with Kim at the time. And I think I had another gig too. And
and another.
I found out what it was. I was like, oh man, I can't miss. This is a once in a lifetime thing. I'm all scared. Like I gotta go ask permission if I could get off the gig that I was already supposed to do. And I explained it, and he said, man, I can't stand in the way of you. An opportunity like that. So of course, So next thing you know, I'm on the gig. Stephanie, my wife, she hears about it, completely envious. Oh man, I wanted to meet Michelle, and I can't believe it. I was like, well, we might get a chance. I might get a chance to put you on the guest list. I don't know. You got to go through this whole security clearance and everything. Long story short, she was able to come along with me.
Oh wow!
So, who is this? Not to push kind of cheesy with my song, but it was a fantasy experience, right? So, so playing at the concert and it being recorded, and we played with a long list of great artists such as John Legend and Jill and Janelle Monáe and all these folks. The Roots was on there, so that was special enough. And they sat in the front row, he and Michelle, and I got a couple of cool pictures that got circulated with me standing behind them. So that was a nice bonus. But the real bragging moment was after the show. We're all getting packed up to go back to the hotel, and a couple of people come by and they say, "Are y'all going to the after party?" I'm like, "What after party?" So this is an after party at the White House. Like, what? Nobody's like, can we go? She's like, "Yeah, it's open to everybody. Everybody who's here is allowed to go to the after party."
Wow.
So, we're partying in the White House after the gig. And that was another tier of surreal. And then towards the end of the night, he came down and danced with us.
Are you kidding me? You're telling me that Barack Obama, former president Barack Obama.
Yep. We were all in a circle. So Stephanie and I were sitting down and we were talking to what's the actress name? Lynette. She did
Lynette McKee is the only one I'm thinking of. Okay.
To her, and everybody's tired. End of the night, we making plans to get out of there, and we just see all these people start rushing to the dance floor. Like, what happened? I said, Barack just came down. So we all got in a circle, and he was dancing with everybody, and it was funny. That is
a once in a lifetime. Yeah.
It will never happen again. Dream moment. So.
Wow. Wait, so okay. My mind is blown, Randy. My mind is blown. You're on the dance floor. You and your beautiful wife Stephanie are on the dance floor with Barack Obama amongst everybody. The entire crew is out dancing. You're having this wonderful time in the White House, no less. Okay, this is a once in a lifetime experience. Yeah. I'm asking you about playing with all of these people. When did you and Stephanie meet? How did you court when you were on the road so much? How did you court Stephanie? How did you win her heart?
So that was part of the story that I kind of leaped over earlier on. Before I got the call for Piece of a Dream, I got my first traveling gig. It was a lady from Philadelphia named Kizzy Darnell. And she did a bunch of USO tours. So a few of my friends were in the band they were her band. I wasn't in the band, but they were rehearsing after our band rehearsed at our keyboard player's house.
Okay.
And they would come at the end of the rehearsal and they would hear us play, and they're like, "Man, we want the guitar player to be in our band." But the guitar player they had he was the music director. He was the leader. So it's like, "Oh man, we wish you could be in our band. We should break his leg." Right?
Excuse me?
Yeah, this is all the chant that we should break his leg so you can go with us. So as fate would have it, his leg got broken.
No.
Not because they kicked him down the stairs or anything like that, but his girlfriend ran over him with a car. So I wound up getting the gig. The lady was like, "Oh my God, we're gonna have to cancel the show. I can't go. He's my lead. He's my guitar player." They like, "Don't worry about it. We got the guy." So she asked me, "Are you gonna be able to learn all this music?" I was like, "Well, yeah, I got it." So I wound up getting the gig. Stephanie was singing background Right. Stephanie. So that whole band, I would say, other than my friend who's playing the keyboards, they were all from Southwest Philly, which is where she's from. And they had a singer, but they needed one more singer. They needed another girl. And so I guess she had a little reputation around the neighborhood for being able to hold a tune. And that was the first time she had ever done anything music related, as a performer, other than probably singing around the house. So that's how she and I met. And when we first saw each other, it was a spark. It was, I know that I threw one out. And, we locked eyes and, I already had it set in my mind that I was going to try to, call her and break her down. We were up there for 3 weeks. Our first trip was to Greenland.
Ooh.
So we're at the top of the world on the North Pole for 3 weeks. So I had all the time in the world to court her.
And the beautiful setup. I mean,
nothing up there but ice and and time. So
ice and time. That's all you need.
Yep. So that's how we became friends, and we just kind of clicked, and we had a lot of things in common. And on the way back is when I got the call about the manager wanting me to come audition for Pieces of a Dream. So I knew that I wasn't going to stay with the band.
Mm-hmm.
And they wanted her to stay. But I knew how the whole music scene was. I was like, I can't date you if you stay with this band. What? Because it was because I knew how that situation was. Not speaking to all bands and all musicians, but I knew how that was. And I was like, I don't know if I had a stomach for that. And I'm just meeting you, and so I was upfront. I was honest. I was like, I'm really interested in you. I see us having a future, but not if you want to continue. So she wasn't really trying to have a music career anyhow. That was just something for her to do. So it wasn't any problem for her to forego that.
I'm listening to you, Randy. Listen, the nerve of you. Listen, I can't date you. I can't continue dating you if you're going to be with it. What? Randy. I'm sitting here listening to you, family. I want to say, because we're talking with none other than world-renowned guitarist Randy Bowland. If you've just joined us, you are tuned in to Love and Life on WURD, Progressive Black Talk Media, on air and online at wordradio.com. That's WURDradio.com. We're inviting you to join the conversation. I know you have some questions. Did you hear what he said? He told her. Did you hear what he said? If you have some questions that you'd like to ask Randy, you can do so by calling 215-634-8065, or you can call us toll free at 1-866-361-0900. Randy, let me tell you something. I thought, they always say, you don't really know a person, but it's so interesting because I've known you and Stephanie forever and had no idea Stephanie ever chirped. Okay. Had no idea she ever sang anything. So this is so, I cannot wait I might just call her tonight because I cannot wait to talk to her and say, excuse me, what? But it's so interesting because you said you threw a spark and you felt like she threw one back. So clearly, that fire was lit because I never knew Stephanie sang. So Stephanie clearly didn't. She definitely didn't move to another band. I don't know if she left that one, but she didn't move to another band.
Yeah, she agreed that, because we cared about each other, and I think we could tell that, we wanted to be together, but that was my condition, the audacity of me, right?
The audacity.
That was my condition, and So I guess that was the first thing that she did to honor my
Well, let
wishes.
me let me ask you this. How difficult was it for you all to court while you were, because you were just starting to tour with Pieces of a Dream since you had just gotten the call? I mean, I know you said you guys knew you wanted to be with one another, but I imagine that was the glue. But I can only imagine that it had to have been, it had to have been very challenging because you were new. Your relationship was
Yeah.
new.
Well, you know what? I'm going to do something that people seldom do, and I'm going to give her more credit than I give myself, because at that time I was just starting. I was embarking on something that I'd never experienced in my life, and I didn't know what the parameters was going to be. I didn't know that being in a committed relationship was going to be so tested,
Hmm.
because now I'm out there and I'm meeting all these people, seeing all these people, and you got your, folks who they call groupies, and so I'm on this set,
Hmm.
and for the first time I'm experiencing that life. So, I got one eye on that, and the other eye on I got a relationship, and so, I went through some growing pains. We went through some growing pains, I should say that, because all of that was new. But she 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 stuck with it. She stuck
Hmm.
with me, through the trying times of it, and was willing to be there when I came home, and then there was a period where I was like, well, man, I don't know if I made the right choice, because I see what this industry is, and I'm not sure what sacrifice I'm going to have to make to
Sure.
make this come true, to keep this dream alive. But after so many years, you kind of get the revelation that, you know what, much of this is a pipe dream, and you can't go, that they can't go chasing waterfalls, because you still have to have some roots in something. And the
Hmm.
relationship was my foundation. That's where my roots was. So anytime anything else like the earth would change anywhere else, that was my rock. So I became more aware of that, and made sure that I kept the relationship at the forefront, and everything else had to be built around that.
I love that. I love, love, love hearing you say that. How many years have you and Stephanie been married now?
We've been married, I think this is going on our 31st, 31st or 32nd. Yeah.
Wow.
And we dated for 9 years prior to that. So we've been together more than half of our life, like 2/3 of our life. We've been together. I spent more.
Wow.
Been with her more years than I've been with my family, like living with my family. So, yeah,
That's a beautiful thing. I mean, and
yeah,
I've known the two of you together. I've only known the two of you together. I've
right,
did not know you individually, so it just feels like you two are one person. You really you two are one person. But I
yeah,
love seeing that because it's not that I get to experience that often in the entertainment industry.
hmm
Um, well,
oh,
it's not that often that you see, especially a long-standing couple in the
mhm.
entertainment industry, that is still loving. Some couples that we know that have been together for a while are still together for business purposes, and that's not the case. That's what it is. But I'm telling you, knowing you, seeing you on the road, seeing you on television, watching you do these different shows, it's always amazing to me to see, to hear you, because you have a distinct sound, to hear your contribution to all of these different artists. But it feels so, how do I say, you gel so well. Your contribution always gels so well with because the artists themselves, you're welcome. You're welcome. You're truly welcome. Like Kim. And first of all, I did not know you played with Al Green. So how about that? How about that? Or Smokey Robinson, the legendary Smokey Robinson. I can't imagine, like, when you get the call, to play with different artists, and you're an artist yourself, and especially because you've had such a long-standing career. Um, how does it feel now? Here we are in 2023, in comparison to when you were getting the calls in the beginning, because
I'm sorry, go ahead.
No, I'm sorry, that was me. I'm saying because you've been performing with A-listers since the beginning. You started. You were on the road. You were an A-lister. You are an A-lister, but you were performing with A-listers from the beginning. And now we're in a different day and age. Times have changed. Music has changed. Venues has changed. The world has changed. And life is different than it was back then. I'm asking this question, but I'm going to give you a moment to think about the response to that, because we are going to take a short break and then we'll come right back. Family, stay with us because we'll be right back.
WURD Radio is the only African American owned and operated talk radio station in the Commonwealth of Pennsylvania, and one of only 3 remaining in the country. In the past 20 years, WURD has evolved into a multimedia, multi-platform communications company that reaches deeply into the Black community through radio, events, digital, and social media. It is considered the go-to channel to engage, interact, and connect with Philadelphia's Black community. Our brand is built on the personal legacy of our founder, Walter P. Lomax Jr., MD. Dr. Lomax was a brilliant physician who established medical centers in underserved neighborhoods throughout Philadelphia to provide high-quality healthcare to Black and Brown communities for over 30 years. One of his most ambitious acquisitions was when he purchased WURD Radio. He understood the power of ownership and the power of independent media. Through WURD, he wanted to ensure that Philadelphia's Black community had the ability to speak and be heard in their own voice. We are celebrating 20 years of Black excellence. We are celebrating 20 years of progressive Black talk media.
This is the story of a very special woman. In a matter of seconds, she turned herself into a great mathematician or an entrepreneur. Her knowledge was limitless and still is. She could also make monsters disappear, especially those that lurked in the shadows under the bed. Once, this woman put back together a teenage girl's broken heart, which had been shattered in 1,000 pieces, just by giving her a bear hug. She masqueraded as a regular person at work, but as a superhero at home. Everyone knows her as Gabriella. I still call her Mom.
Your hero needs you now, and AARP is here to help. Find the care guides you need to help, complete with tips and resources at aarp.org/caregiving. A public service announcement brought to you by AARP and the Ad Council.
What are you waiting for? If you've been enjoying the information and interviews WURD provides every day, or come out to our community events, it might be time to become a member. This year marks the 20th anniversary of WURD, and there's no better time to join the forward movement. Sign up or renew your sustaining membership at just $90, or your digital membership for just $5 a month. Join online at wordradio.com/membership, or pick up the phone and give us a call at 215-425-7875. Press 4 for assistance. The time to join is now.
What am I waiting for?
What is love?
You're listening to Love and Life on WURD, Progressive Black Talk Media.
I think I know what love is.
Hey there, family. Welcome back. You're tuned in to Love and Life on WURD, Progressive Black Talk Media, on air and online at wordradio.com. That's WURDradio.com. We are talking with none other than Randy Bowland, world renowned guitarist. You have seen him, you have heard him. OMG. I was stating earlier that he's performed on television programs. He's been on award shows. You've seen him on the NAACP Image Awards. You've seen him on the Academy Awards. You've seen him on the BET and Soul Train Awards. I mean, just a host of television shows and live shows that I'm sure you've attended because we like to get out. You've seen him with Kim. You've seen him with Will Downing. You've seen him with the OJs. You've seen him with, the list goes on and on and on and on. Our family members on our socials have some questions for you. Nasir asks, how did you get into writing songs?
Wow. Well, so the band that I was, one of the bands that I was in or founder of, we had a guy in the group who played keyboards, and he was a really good lyricist. And I was already into writing a lot of songs from the musical side, but I didn't know how to write lyrics. So, we would get studio time, save our little money, twos and fews, and go in the studio and record our demos. So I would put together the music a lot of times, and then he would write the lyrics, or he'd start a song and we'd collaborate on it. Knew nothing about the writing lyrics. So I booked the studio time to record a couple of demos, and he was supposed to come to the studio and he was going to write the lyrics to the music I had put together. Mm-hmm. So I already paid for the studio time, and he called me like a couple hours prior to say, yeah, I'm not going to be able to make the session. I got to work overtime, Couldn't cancel the studio time. I'm like, oh, man, what am I going to do? So go to the studio, first foray to writing lyrics. So, that was kind of like my training ground, but I thought of a lot of things that his principles, and just kind of following what he did taught me what I should do. And my first few times if I listen back to them, they were terrible. But, I'd critique myself more and more. The more and more I did it and listened to things on the radio and start to understand the format and having a good hook and all that stuff. So I would say just a little bit before, when we started doing the demos for Mission, mm-hmm. That's when I started really understanding how to write a good song. And then I wound up writing most of the songs on the album. So that experience kind of ushered me into the songwriting experience. I was about 21.
Such a baby.
So then, after that, I started getting my sea legs. Got songs out there, and Fantasy Experience, as I mentioned earlier, Caught Some Fire, and our next album had a couple of good songs on there that did pretty well. And we were working with Nick Martinelli as the producer on that. Mm-hmm. So he started calling me for songs. So I had a song on Johnny Mathis and Regina Bell, and that was kind of like where things started.
Wow!
To begin my songwriting career.
So that leads me to going back to the question that I was asking you prior to the break about getting the call back then as opposed to now. Like, times have changed and things are so different. I'm sure, the feeling is still overwhelming and it's a blessing. And at its core, it's just truly a blessing. But because things are so different now, I guess I should be asking, what's your approach now, because I'm sure it's different than it was back then. Like you were saying, we used to save our money to get studio time. Studio time was like buying a gold bar. Okay. When you bought
Yeah.
when you bought 3 hours of studio time, you had a gold bar. You literally did, and now things are so different because we're recording in our homes. We're doing all kinds of things differently. The world is different and the music industry is different. And so I'm curious to know how your approach, in what ways is your approach different? I should say that. In what ways is your approach to the music industry different now than it was back then?
I probably would say that most of my work coming now through relationships. Like back then, maybe some of my relationships were the writers or the producers or whatever, but the artists, I didn't know none of the artists. I didn't know Steph Mills, I didn't know Mickey Howard, I didn't know. I met them over the years, and then you see them a bunch of times. Then later on, you have some familiarity, but now a lot of the stuff come by way of artists that I either tour with or because I've done stuff with them and someone they know now take interest in your work. I like what you did for Will Down. I like what you did for Kim, blah, blah, blah. Can you play on these songs for me? But the difference now is everything's coming to my house and I'm recording 90% of the things from home and not in the studio much. So that's one of the greater differences. And I think I put more emphasis on developing the type of relationships that I work with people now to hopefully give way that I can do the songwriting and production side of it. Because playing guitar on songs, I still love it. And it's challenging to keep finding something that's interested to play on people's songs.
Sure.
But in the back of my mind, I'm always like, okay, well, hopefully I can turn this into something a little bit more than just playing on the song. And in most cases, it actually has been that. So, I've produced 6 albums with Will. I've written 4 songs with Kim. Written and produced with Kim. When I worked with Regina Bell, I did songs for her. Just about most people, Pieces of a Dream, whoever it's been, Grover Washington, most of the people I've had an opportunity to work with, I've had a chance to write and produce for.
I'm telling you, it's amazing. Your journey is truly amazing. I want to go back to our socials. Joanne writes that she loves and enjoys watching people share their gifts in music. She wrote, "Everybody loves Randy, and many folks needed his sparks." How about that? How about that? And Rowena is asking, I'm sorry. Rowena is asking if you took pictures of those precious moments with former President Barack Obama.
Yes, we have. So there's some pictures. I have some in my phone. I took pictures when I first met him. I took pictures. Pictures were taken. I should say that pictures were taken the night we were at the White House because, we were busy performing and being where we needed to be, but it wasn't like he was going to come in there with a big camera and we had to be kind of be careful whenever you pulled your phone out. Obviously, the photographers and things that were hired, press people, there's a lot of pictures circulated with me in the background.
It's interesting that you said that because as you say that, I'm thinking it's very interesting that they let you all keep your cell phones on your person since you were in the White House.
I don't know that we had it the whole time, but I think by the time we got, it was at some juncture we were able to have our phones. But like I said, during the program, I didn't have my phone on me, but the whole thing was being photographed and videotaped, and so I got a chance to. I'm looking at publications, posting different things from the event, and I see me in the background.
I saw you all over the place.
Yeah, like even if you see BET ran it for probably 2 or 3 years straight, and every time they would show the commercial for it, you would see the picture of me standing behind them.
I love that. Oh, Randy, that's just
So,
awesome. Do you hear me? Oh my goodness. And so Lily says, good evening. Good evening to everybody, to the entire WURD family, to you, Randy, to all of our friends. Rowena says, thank you. Thank you so much for the response to her question. And as does Nasir. Family, we love that you're joining us. We're inviting everybody to join the conversation. You can do so by either reaching out to us on our socials, or you can call us. You can call us at 215-634-8065, or you can call us toll free by dialing 1-866-361-0900. We're talking with world-renowned guitarist Randy Bowland. I'm asking him about his life. I'm asking him about his life on the road, his life period, because he's had such a tremendous journey thus far. What is next for you, Randy?
Well, long overdue and much promised. I am in the process of releasing my first single this summer.
Don't make me scream. Don't you make me scream, Randy.
I know. It's like almost when I say that, I gotta, I think there's a betting pool out there now. Like, is this the year? Is it actually going to happen this time? But yeah, it's like, because of a couple of events that's happened in my life in the recent past, and I'm turning 60 in August. So I'm like,
really?
You know what? I'll be 60 in August. So I was like, you know what? This is the time. No more excuses, no more delays. It's going to be whatever it's going to be. I've been working on it for the longest. You would think I was Quincy Jones or somebody working on it forever. And,
you are.
But it's been a labor of love, and I never wanted to put out something that I didn't feel best represented the music I love, the type of playing I like to do, have my own identity. Because as soon as you tell people you're putting out a solo record, in the back of their mind, like, it's going to be like this, it's going to be like a George Benson, Norman Brown, blah, blah, blah. Like, no, it's not going to be any of that. I wanted to make sure that it's something apart from all of that. As much as I'm a fan of all of them, I don't want to follow that same trend of, it's going to be the jazz guitar record. That's not what it is. And I have a host of other featured artists on there. I'm still hoping to have you join me.
You already know. You already know.
Many of my friends have already, blessed me with their gifts and performances. So I'm pretty deep into completion, but the first offerings will be probably an EP, because I don't want to overwhelm myself, trying to promote too much from the onset. But I have an album's worth of material, and I'm excited about it. I've actually fallen in love with it, so I was waiting to get that. Everybody else have been supporting the idea and encouraging me to do it, but I had that fire in me, and I feel it now, so I'm ready.
That's important. It's so important. You mentioning that is so important. And I know exactly to what you are referring. I know that feeling all too well. And it's something that you really can't explain. You said it perfectly, though. To have that fire, to feel it, to be in love with it yourself, that means everything. That means I'm so happy for you. I'm proud for you. Are you kidding me? I'm you don't understand. I'm so close to screaming. And you already know. I don't know, whatever you need me to do. Chirp, breathe, whatever you need me to do. I'm here to do it. I'm here to do it. Y'all heard it. Listen, I've been telling you for years. I've been saying, Randy, whenever we're going to, the funny thing, family, Randy and I have worked. We've done so many live shows together, but we've not recorded anything together. We used to live in the same neighborhood, used to see each other almost every day, all the time, and haven't worked together at all. Nasir writes, congratulations, Randy. He cannot wait to hear your project. Nasir, I'm with you. Oh my goodness, I wish I had some. I'm so excited about this. Family, listen. What we're going to do right now, we in just a second, we are going to take a short commercial break, but in the event that you have just joined us, you are tuned in to Love and Life on WURD, Progressive Black Talk Media, on air and online at wordradio.com. Now, listen, I told you we're nearing the end of the show, okay? So if you have any questions when we come back from this commercial break, make sure you call us. You can do so by calling 215-634-8065. Or you can call us toll free at 1-866-361-0900. But don't go anywhere, okay? Stay with us because we will be right back.
Tune in Wednesday, April 19th at 4 p.m. for the live broadcast from Arcadia University as they end their year-long focus on the theme of bias. Arcadia University's The Love Pilot program will host their policing and prosecution panel discussion. Panelists include Philadelphia District Attorney Larry Krasner, Cheltenham Township Police Chief John Slavin, Arcadia community member Yolanda Neal, former PPD civilian employee and community organizer Sergio. Tune in April 19th at 4 p.m.
Did you know Henry Ossawa Tanner, the first internationally known African-American painter, lived and studied right here in Philadelphia? As the first Black student admitted to the prestigious Pennsylvania Academy of the Fine Arts, Tanner broke barriers with his innovative moving paintings and influenced generations of artists around the world. To find out more about the efforts to preserve his legacy and North Philadelphia childhood home, visit thetannerhouse.org, a message from the Friends of the Tanner House.
Mother was very familiar with her neighborhood, but one day she stopped at the stop sign and she wasn't even really sure where she was at.
When something feels different, it could be Alzheimer's. Now is the time to talk. A message from the Alzheimer's Association and the Ad Council.
WURD Radio is the only African-American owned and operated talk radio station in the Commonwealth of Pennsylvania and one of only 3 remaining in the country. In the past 20 years, WURD has evolved into a multimedia, multi-platform communications company that reaches deeply into the Black community through radio, events, digital, and social media. It is considered the go-to channel to engage, interact, and connect with Philadelphia's Black community. Our brand is built on the personal legacy of our founder, Walter P. Lomax Jr., MD. Dr. Lomax was a brilliant physician who established medical centers in underserved neighborhoods throughout Philadelphia to provide high-quality healthcare to Black and Brown communities for over 30 years. One of his most ambitious acquisitions was when he purchased WURD Radio. He understood the power of ownership and the power of independent media. Through WURD, he wanted to ensure that Philadelphia's Black community had the ability to speak and be heard in their own voice. We are celebrating 20 years of Black excellence. We are celebrating 20 years of progressive Black talk media.
Let me tell you something, and don't you ever forget it. Success is nothing without someone you love to share it with.
You're listening to Love and Life with Carol Riddick on WURD, Progressive Black Talk Media.
Family, welcome back. You are tuned in to Love and Life on WURD, Progressive Black Talk Media, on air and online at wordradio.com. You know, I like to say it, I'm going to repeat it. That's WURDradio.com. We're talking with none other than our guest tonight, world-renowned guitarist, Randy Bowland. And he just shared before the commercial break that we can expect some music from him. Wait, let me make sure I say this correctly and properly. Not of another artist. Well, you have that in the works too, I'm sure. But he is going to release his own project. Can I tell y'all how long I've been waiting? Can I tell y'all how long I've been waiting? I'm so excited to know that we can expect some music from you. Joey Dixon is joining us on our socials. Hey there, Joey. Joey writes, peace, WURD family. One love and jazz to you. We're always so happy to have our family members join us, however you choose to do so, whether you're listening, whether you're watching. We love the love, either way it comes, no matter how it comes. So, Randy, you're saying, okay, you're saying in August, we should expect an EP or a single. No, a single. We should expect a single from you in August. Man, don't you threaten me with a good time. Don't you do it. Now, so will Stephanie be on this project? Will she be on on any of the project? Will your wife Stephanie be on it?
I don't know. That's a good question. It's not finished quite yet, so there's a possibility, but that's going to be more or less if she decides she wants to, utter anything on there, whatever that might be, or she doesn't sing anymore, so I don't know that it would be that. But you know what? She's actually pretty good with helping me with, I've had some songs where, I was just kind of stuck and didn't hear a melody or working. She's good with that. She's like, this is what I'm hearing. I'm looking at her like, well, why not? Why you should be doing this with me? You gotta. That's not what I do, but she's good with it. So.
I'm thinking of this list. Oh, I'm sorry.
No, I'm saying she would have some country.
Good. Okay, I'm happy to hear that. I've been thinking about the list of people of which I'm aware with whom you've worked. Is there anyone with whom you did not work that you have longed to work with?
I mean, there's always someone, because I'm a fan of so many different types of music and so many different artists. But I can honestly say probably most of my chosen list of folks, I've had an opportunity to do something with them. I wish I could say I recorded with or performed with Michael Jackson before he left this earth. I didn't, but I did something where he was actually a part of the event. So we stood on the stage together. That was great. And as with Prince, and had a chance to play with Stevie Wonder, and so there's not a lot of people. I guess when you do a lot of the award shows and stuff like that, you get an opportunity to at least have the moment to share the stage with some of the folks that were on my dream list of people that I would have liked to work with. Like I said, there's so many artists, and I'm sure I could come up with someone, but I've been blessed to work with probably the majority of the people that I've ever wanted to work with in my lifetime. Yeah.
You've had some amazing experiences. I mean, listen, I'm still stuck on you going to the after party at the White House and being, in a group dance with former President Barack Obama. I mean, that's a once in a lifetime experience. And you got to take Stephanie with you. You two got to experience that together. So that, oh my goodness. Man, did you get away with not having to give any gifts for that? that year? Like, because that's the ultimate gift.
That's funny you say that because that was the month of our anniversary. And I was like,
Oh,
this is the gift. You
no,
know, this
don't.
I can't give you anything better than this. This is it. This is at the top of the list. This
I
might
was
carry over
joking.
the Christmas,
I was
but no,
joking.
you know, I mean, she's good. She don't ask for much anyhow. I'm the cheerful giver, so I overgive. But in all honesty, you know, every now and then I would joke like, well, you know, don't ask me, don't ask me for nothing because I got you in the White House. So
You know what?
that
First
should
of
last
all,
for
first of all,
right?
you know what, Randy? Okay, family, I have one thing to share with you all. One thing to share with you all as we're talking about gifts and whatnot. Now, I happen to love y'all. I'm a foodie. For those of you who
Oh,
can't tell or unaware, I love, love, love. And when we've traveled. We've been all over the world by the grace of God. We've been blessed. So I like the. We were in San Francisco. San Francisco. We were in San Francisco on this particular trip, and there was shop, but boutique. We have one in Philadelphia, and I was like, oh, that's my favorite. It's my favorite. You hear me? They have these champagne truffles. That I love. So I bought everybody in the band some champagne truffles. When I tell you, Randy is calling me the candy pusher. Okay. He to this day calls me the candy pusher because they were good, weren't they? They were so good. He said, I went looking for those daggone chocolates. He said, I was going to buy my wife a box. Now, family, I must share with you, they can be a little pricey. I'm just going to whisper that they can be a little pricey. They can be a little pricey, but I thought it was a good gift. When I tell you he let me have it, he let me have it because he said, you got me hooked on this whole this whole expensive chocolate. You have to treat yourself. You have to treat yourself every now and again. Look at the look he's giving me. Family, for those of you who cannot see, Randy's eyes are burning through me right now because of those chocolates, but they were delicious, weren't they, Randy?
well, I'm gonna put a capper on that whole thing. So what she's not telling you is I did buy my wife who visited on that trip. I did buy her some of those, and they were $9 a chocolate. I didn't know that. I went to the store and bought a dozen, and the guy said 90 whatever amount of, I think with the tax it was like $100 something dollars. I was like, wait, I just got one box of chocolate, right? Yeah. So that's the part she's not telling you. It's
You
$100
didn't have to share
for
that.
a dozen chocolates, and she
You did not
candy
have to
push.
share that part. You did not have to
Now my
share
wife,
that part,
I'm
Randy. That was not nice. Now Stephanie loves them. She loves
yeah,
them. See, it was worth
$10,
it. It was worth it.
a $10 piece of chocolate. Like really?
She deserves good chocolate. Okay. She deserves good
Yeah.
chocolate. Wait, Viola said Papa's custard. Uh-oh. Oh, wait, don't you we're going to have a foodie episode. I'm telling you this because I want to know where all the good food is across the globe. Do you hear me? Because I make a map. And yes, I do. I go seek it out. When I'm out of town, I do. I sure do. Listen, family, I say it every single episode. I enjoy so much the time that we get to spend with you all. Randy has thrown me under the bus. He's talked about, how I got him hooked on these chocolates. They're delicious chocolates. They are. But family, as we wrap, they are. As we wrap up tonight's episode, I extend my utmost gratitude to each and every one of you as you continue to support love and life. I'm sending a special thanks to you, Randy, our guest, our illustrious guest tonight, Randy Bowland, for sharing your time, for sharing your energy, for sharing your attention and all your information and your wonderful stories with us. We do want to see pictures, okay? Rowena and I, especially, we want to see those photos. We want to see, even if you were just standing on the White House lawn, we want to see those pictures. Okay.
Yeah.
Family, you had that. You had that for us. Family, I tell you this each and every episode. We are all in this together. You know I say it. So be good to you. but be good to those around you. I want each and every one of you to have a great night. But be sure to join me because you know I'm going to do a check-in Monday through Thursday from 7 until 9 p.m. for another edition of Love and Life on WURD, Progressive Black Talk Media. Thank you so much to Kayla J for making sure that life goes smoothly. She's our illustrious producer. Everybody have a great night. See you next time.
Thank you, Carol. Thank
you, Randy.
Let's face it, life looks a little different. During